Top 20 most visited countries in the world. According to a recent ranking by the United Nations World Tourism Organization, Europe boasts 12 of the 20 most visited countries, but Asia and the Pacific, with 5 countries on the list, is the fastest growing region. 20. Netherlands. 19 million visitors. When people think of the Netherlands, they often think of Amsterdam, home to historic canals, museums both impressive and quirky, and a thriving nightlife scene. But a must-see place in Netherlands is the Kinderdigelshout. Kinderdigelshout is a UNESCO World Heritage Site that features the bucolic landscapes and windmills the country is famous for, while serving as a historically important example of early water management systems. 19. Poland. 19.6 million visitors. Travelers seeking European panache without the crowds of stalwarts like Spain, France, Germany and Italy are increasingly turning to Poland, thanks to its illustrious history including a rich Jewish heritage, collection of medieval castles, untouched nature and delightful cuisine. A must-see place in Poland is Auschwitz-Birkenau. Auschwitz-Birkenau, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, is a former Nazi concentration and extermination camp that is devastating but necessary to see in person. A museum tells the story of the horrors of the camp, while honoring the lives of those who died there, over 1.1 million men, women and children in total. 18. Canada. 21.1 million visitors. Canada's tourism industry is so immense, it accounted for $33.9 billion of the country's GDP in the first 9 months of 2018 alone. Most visitors come from the neighboring US, followed by China and the UK, which only recently got edged out of its long-held number 2 position. A very well-known must-visit place in Canada is the Niagara Falls. Niagara Falls is one of the 7 wonders of the world for a reason. The Canadian side overlooks Horseshoe Falls, featuring a 3,000-foot crest, whose vastness can only be understood when seen up close. 17. Portugal. 22.8 million visitors. Many tourists are finding their way to Portugal's unspoiled beaches, history-steeped castles in Lisbon, the country's sophisticated urban hub, and it's safer than many other European nations to boot. A must-see place to visit in Portugal is Ursa Beach. Ursa Beach is a hidden gem among many idyllic Portugal beaches. Surrounded by craggy limestone cliffs, it offers seclusion and natural beauty in equal measure. 16. Russia. 24.5 million visitors. In Russia, Moscow and St. Petersburg are excellent places to start, though you'd also be wise to explore overlooked gems like the ancient town of Sestol. A ride on the storied Trans-Siberian Railway is a must as well. A must place to visit in Russia is the Catherine Palace. Catherine Palace, also known as the Summer Palace, was the summer residence of the Russian Tsars, and is every bit as opulent as you'd expect. More than 220 pounds of gold adorn the exterior, while the inside features expansive frescoes, sweeping staircases and elaborate sculptures. The over-the-top palace is located south of St. Petersburg. 15. Malaysia. 25.8 million visitors. Malaysia is gaining in popularity thanks to its natural charms, rainforests, national parks and wildlife abound, and desirable tropical temps, which range from 68 to 86 degrees all year round. A must-see place to visit in Malaysia is the Batu Caves. The Batu Caves in Kuala Lumpur features not only a series of fascinating caves, but a century-old Hindu temple. The temple is accessed via colorful rainbow steps, themselves a popular tourist attraction. 14. Hong Kong. 29.2 million visitors. Hong Kong remains one of the most visited places on the planet, largely due to its popularity among business travelers. A must-see place to visit in Hong Kong is the Zhuhai Macau Bridge. The opening of the Hong Kong Zhuhai Macau Bridge, to connect the Greater Bay has boosted Hong Kong's tourism industry by making automobile arrival an option for Asian travelers. More than being practical, the Hong Kong-Zhuhai-Macau Bridge is awe-inspiring to witness in person. At 34 miles, it's the longest sea-spanning bridge in the world. 13. Greece. 30.1 million visitors. With its rich ancient history, Greece remains a hotspot for tourists, growing by 2 million visitors annually for the past 3 years. In fact, 1 in 5 Greeks work in the tourism industry, even following the country's economic crisis. A must-see place to visit in Greece is, of course, the Santorini. Despite contending with overcrowding, Santorini remains a must-visit, with its whitewashed houses perched on cliffs overlooking the sea. It's exactly what you picture when you think of Greece. See it before doing so becomes even more difficult. 12. Austria. 30.8 million visitors. Many think of Austria's Alps, which explains why hiking in the summer and skiing in the winter are the two top vacations for visitors. Many others spend their time mountain biking and exploring alpine lakes. A must-see place to visit in Austria is the Baroque Schloss, Hellborn Palace. The Baroque Schloss Hellborn Palace, outside Salzburg, dates back 4 centuries. Exploring its vast interior is best paired with a stroll through its romantic courtyard. 11. Japan. 31.1 million visitors. Japan is the third most visited Asian destination on this list, received more than 30 million visitors last year. Japan entices visitors with its first-rate cuisine, ancient shrines, rich sense of tradition and unique natural features like snow-capped Mount Fuji. A must-see place to visit in Japan is Japan's cherry blossom. Japan's cherry blossom season in early April adds magical beauty to the country's landscapes. During the Hanami celebration to welcome spring, travelers eat, drink, sing and dance beneath the fragrant pink blossoms. 10. United Kingdom. 36.3 million visitors. Made up of 4 countries, England, Wales, Scotland and Northern Ireland, that all speak English, the UK has long been a beloved destination among international travelers. More than half of those who arrive to the UK head to London, famous for its seamless blend of history and modern urbanity, not to mention its exemplary, Scot-free museums. A must-see place to visit in the UK is the Tower of London. The Tower of London is a medieval castle that houses the famed crown jewels, including dazzling scepters and crowns, dating back centuries. 9. Thailand. 38.2 million visitors. Renowned for being budget-friendly due to its exchange rate, $1 equals 30 Thai baht, the nation is transforming into a luxury getaway with more resorts and high-end offerings, pushing out the backpacking and disreputable businesses of Bangkok. A must-see place to visit in Thailand is the Phi Phi Islands. The Phi Phi Islands are so idyllic and popular that the Thai government closed them until 2021 to allow for recovery from over-tourism. Plan a trip to the island for the future and take care of the natural environment when you're there. 8. Germany. 38.8 million visitors. Germany is most beloved among other Europeans, particularly the Dutch. Travelers from the United States are the largest market from overseas. Both Europeans and Americans rave about the country's thought-provoking historic attractions, spirited cities, vast forests which cover 1/3 of the nation, and, most importantly, excellent beer. A must-see place to visit in Germany is the Brandenburg Gate. Brandenburg Gate, which dates back to 1791, is the only remaining town gate in Berlin. Famously, it was from here that Ronald Reagan proclaimed, "Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall." Since the fall of the Berlin Wall, the gate has become a powerful symbol of unity. 7. Mexico. 41.1 million visitors. Postcard perfect beaches remain a major draw in Mexico, but the country's tourism board has also successfully highlighted its ancient history, cultural institutions, diverse cuisine and natural features beyond the shoreline, including butterfly sanctuaries, canyons and waterfalls. A must-see place to visit in Mexico is the Chichén Itzá. Chichén Itzá is a complex of Mayan ruins on Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula. A massive step pyramid, known as El Castillo or Temple of Kukulkan, dominates the ancient city, which thrived from around 680 to the 1200s. Graphic stone carvings survive at structures like the Ball Court, Temple of the Warriors and the Wall of the Skulls. Nightly sound and light shows illuminate the building's sophisticated geometry. 6. Turkey. 45.7 million visitors. Istanbul, Turkey's major city, saw a record number of visitors last year, luring travelers to explore its east-meets-west cultural attractions, colorful bazaars and imposing mosques. A must-see place to visit in Turkey is the city of Antalya. Antalya is a Turkish resort city, with a yacht-filled old harbor and beaches, flanked by large hotels. It's a gateway to Turkey's southern Mediterranean region, known as the Turquoise Coast for its blue waters. Remnants remain from Antalya's time as a major Roman port. These include Hadrian's Gate, built to honor the Roman emperor's visit in 130 AD, and 2nd century Hidrolake Tower, with harbor views. 5. Italy. 62.1 million visitors. Tourism is so big in Italy that long lines at places like St. Paul's Cathedral and the Colosseum in Rome are all but guaranteed, even if you have booked reservations in advance. Statistics show Italy's tourism growth is above the European average, with Rome attracting nearly 27 million of its visitors. A must-see place to visit in Italy are the ancient ruins in Sicily. In classical times, Sicily was the star of Magna Graecia, and even if visiting age-old ruins and Greek temples are not usually your top priority on holiday, it would be hard not to be impressed, if not completely overwhelmed by the huge number of ancient sites in Sicily. While the island was shaped by numerous nations, it is the Greek influence that is perhaps most dominant, and even today, Sicily still boasts remains of ancient Greek architecture that rival some of the sites in Greece. 4. China. 62.9 million visitors. Tourists outside China who make their way to the country discover everything that comes with being the world's oldest continuous civilization, from villages dating back thousands of years to ancient marvels like the Great Wall. Plus, the nation's cuisine, as affordable as it is flavorful, can't be beaten. A must-see place in China is the Zhaozong village. Situated in southeastern Guizhou, Zhaozong is one of the largest Dong minority villages in China. It lies in a basin surrounded by mountains with a small river passing through it. The village is a real masterpiece of the Dong nationality, with theater stages, singing platforms, and grain barns. There are 5 drum towers, which are the village's special symbols, and they appear as 5 lotus flowers scattered in 5 naturally formed villages. 3. United States. 79.6 million visitors. Considering the United States is 3.8 million square miles, nearly as big as all of Europe, it's easy to see why it's the 3rd most popular travel destination on Earth. The country's mix of wildly diverse attractions don't hurt either, including some of the most iconic cities in the world, New York City, LA, Chicago, and a thriving national park system. A must-see place in the U.S. is the Utah's Mighty 5. Southern Utah is home to not 1, not 2, but 5 different national parks. These parks, Zion, Bryce Canyon, Capitol Reef, Canyonlands, and Arches, are collectively known as the Mighty 5. These parks contain some of the most thrilling hiking trails and iconic landscapes in the United States. 2. Spain. 82.7 million visitors. Many news outlets are reporting on the extreme overtourism found in Barcelona, which hit a record 8 million visitors in 2018, but that represents just a tenth of the travelers who visit this expansive country that also includes the cultural hub of Madrid and the flamenco capital of Seville, as well as untouched countryside and gorgeous beaches. A must-see place in Spain is the Camino de Santiago. The Camino de Santiago, Latin, Peregrinatio Compostelana, Pilgrimage of Compostela, known in English as the Way of St. James, is a network of pilgrims' ways or pilgrimages, leading to the shrine of the Apostle St. James the Great, in the Cathedral of Santiago de Compostela, in Galicia, northwestern Spain, where tradition has it that the remains of the saint are buried. Many follow its routes as a form of spiritual path, or retreat for their spiritual growth. It is also popular with hiking and cycling enthusiasts, and organized tour groups. 1. France. 89.4 million visitors. More people are visiting France than any other country in the world. Not only does France receive the largest number of tourists, but they make the most off of them too. Tourism brought in $62 billion last year. A must-see place in France is the Mont Saint-Michel. Mont Saint-Michel, a UNESCO World Heritage Center in northern France, is a site truly like no other. Perched on a rocky island in the midst of vast sandbanks, exposed to powerful tides between Normandy and Brittany, stand the wonder of the West, a Gothic-style Benedictine abbey dedicated to the Archangel Saint Michael, and the village that grew up in the shadow of its great walls. Built between the 11th and 16th centuries, the abbey is a technical and artistic tour de force, having had to adapt to the problems posed by this unique natural site. Thanks for watching.